Okay, so I am having a bit of a busy week this week, so I've decided to play something that is rather quick. This is Mono Red Burn, as Historic is going to be playing it, and it is basically going to try to make sure that your opponent goes to 0 life as quick as possible. It's built on one of the semi-new cards. Well, not really new at this point, but it's from the the Explorer anthology. This is Eidolon of the Great Revel, a 2-mana 2/2 enchantment creature spirit that says a player will take 2 damage every time they cast a spell with mana value 3 or less. You'll notice that in this deck, we run quite a lot of things that are mana value 3 or less. So Revel is really only needing to be used when you're trying to burn out your opponent. And you just kind of need to slow down the game and control it against a deck that similarly doesn't play very many high CMC spells. So that's in here as a 4 of. And then basically, other than that, we're looking for a bunch of ways to deal damage to the face. There are a couple of ramp and card draw things. Mainly, it's just risk factor for the card draw. This one's always been kind of a constant in mono red. Deals 4 damage to the opponent unless they decide to let you draw 3 cards rather. There is also Bloodthirsty Adversary that essentially gives some of your stuff flashback from the graveyard, except you don't have to pay the mana cost. There is Steamkins for ramp. These are also pretty common in red decks in general. You've seen it on some of the Storm decks on this channel. And then in terms of reusing cards, we also have Finale of Promise, which can be cast for generally 4 mana or less in order to cast a instant and sorcery out of the graveyard, less than the mana cost of X. And then there is one more of these style of effects in Invoke Calamity, one of the new cards from this set. I just threw it in as a 1-of just because I had it lying around and it kind of fits the theme. If we get to cast it, that'll be pretty fun. If not, no worries. And then there's also 3 of Faithless Looting, some additional card draw. And let's get to the burn side of things. So 4 Play with Fire, 4 Shock, 4 Lightning Strike, 4 Static Discharge, and that is it. I guess there's the risk factors as well. There is a 1 of Roiling Vortex, which is a pretty fun one as well. This is a 1 of in case you run into a life gain deck. I did play a couple of hands with this deck earlier today, and I did get into a mono-white life gain matchup where Roiling Vortex absolutely shredded my opponent. It was really, really nice to have. And yeah, this is a pretty slept-on card, even in mono-red lists. But when you can use it to its full potential, it's pretty sweet. It also has a side effect of absolutely nerfing Storm. Your Emergent Ultimatum, Mizzix's Mastery decks, yeah, try taking 10 damage every time you resolve one of those, or 15 damage rather, even whenever you try to cast one of those. It's pretty great. I'm running 24 lands in this deck. You could definitely just like put some other burn spell and go down to like 20 or like maybe 18 lands if you really wanted to. Burn doesn't really need to have that high of a curve. We have more lands in here just to make sure that we don't run out of things to do. There's a good enough bit of card draw in here, especially with Faithless Looting. We're really happy to discard lands. So, yeah, that's pretty much the deck. Let's just go in here and bust out some games. Let's get it. Okay, it's round 1 time. We have a bunch of Burn and we have a bunch of Invoke Calamity. So we can reuse at least Static Discharge and maybe Play with Fire as well. I'll keep it. And let's just get going. Here is here's a mountain. I almost called that a forest. Whoops. And then we will shock whatever they play or Play with Fire their face, looking for a non-land. Let's go ahead and Play with Fire. Unfortunately, Cage is going to absolutely ruin our Invoke Calamity plans. So in this case, everything is just going to need to go to their face. We have another Play with Fire shock play. I think I'm happy to make that right now. But you know what? I'll save that for turn 3. So I can Static Discharge them. Actually, you know what? I don't want to do it this way. I want to hold up the double spell right now. And I guess Invoke Calamity can cast out of your hands, so that's good. Gaia's Blessing, very interesting. So they will not be milled by me. And I think I'm on the place, so they did hit their land drop this turn. Let's go ahead and scry, and then we'll decide if we want to deal more damage to them. I think I am keeping a Steamkin. Just making sure that I can deal some damage. So here is Steamkin, then I can shock them in their end step, grow the Steamkin. They're on red-green, so let's see what they do. I imagine they have a lot of removal for creatures if they haven't been doing anything so far. Static Discharge, sure. So is this just like a burn mirror? We'll see if they play a land. They will. I will burn them. Lightning Strike, Static Discharge. I will hold up the instant. Actually, no, I'm going to just start burning them now. Let them know that they do not have much life left. So as long as I am still able to draw cards, we can hopefully get him here. They are just on their Gaia's Blessing behavior. Seems like they're definitely holding something up. So am I. And now I need to hit some card draw. Double Vision. Okay. Well, they may be able to catch up and burn us out. Let's hope that they can't do it. Land is not really a move. Invoke Calamity. If I draw stuff into my hand, I'm feeling good. Play with Fire is good on their end step. Yeah, okay. It's a bummer that Cage is on the battlefield. I don't think I have a way in this deck to deal with it. But, you know, that's fine. I only have to deal 8 damage to them. So, I mean, I'm sure I'm going to get blown up by some huge spell. Ugin does suck, but it's okay. That does not... That only gives them card draw. It doesn't help them gain life. I am just going face, looking for more things to do with my mana. The only issue is now they do have a way to get going here. And unfortunately, these are both things that I need I need the graveyard for, so that's unfortunate. I will just have to get rid of both of these cards then. Be able to... Oh, I cannot cast this from the graveyard. That's so annoying. Alright, well, I'll get my Steamkin out, and then we will move on. Opponent has a lot of mana. Let's see what they do with Double Vision. I'd like to see this go off. They're going to uptake Ugin. Makes sense. I'm going to start taking 2 a turn. So this is kind of like a ramp sort of variant, or am I going to die to a big X spell? You're shocking in Chandra, okay. Well, opponent is at 4. A single Static Discharge does kill them. So it is a race. My top deck against their Chandra emblems and little creatures. We could have it here. Opponent is basically dead by now if they did not have the Grafdigger's Cage. So, you know, they're getting rewarded for their deck construction. I am not, on the other hand, since I can't destroy a cage. Maybe I drop something for an Abrade next game. I think that's probably the better way to do it. Oh, it's a Double Vision land destruction deck. Okay. Well, I'll put them to 1, and we will see what happens. So I'm losing some lands. Doesn't really matter. I only need 2 of them to finish the game out. And there are a lot of outs in the deck from here on out, so let's hope that we just draw one of them. 18 points of life to work with here. That is okay. I don't really need my graveyard at all. So they're actually in Jund. This is Jund control, kind of. And let's hope for a good card. Give me some mojo. Here we go. Oh yeah, of course, the Inferno. And Eidolon of the Great Revel. Okay. I am potentially hurting them. They're at least going to have to minus their Chandra. See what they decide to do. They can also kill it with Ugin. So it looks like they're going to kill it with Ugin. I take 6 here, so I do have to draw in my next. I have to draw something in my next draw step here, otherwise I'm dead. Let's see. What are the outs here? I basically get burnt by any land. I get burnt by Faithless Looting. There's only 2 more of those in my deck. I'm feeling pretty good about this. And we're actually dead with these Chandra emblems. Bummer. Okay, well, that's unfortunate. We lost essentially to Grafdigger's Cage. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to hop into the deck editor. And I am going to put a couple of Abrades into this deck. Yeah, probably the smarter thing to do. Let's search for Abrade, and let's figure out what I'm dropping for this. I could potentially get rid of the Invoke Calamity. I think maybe I'll just put it in as a 2 of. Let me make this bigger. Yeah, put that in as a 2 of, and then what do we get rid of? Adversary does take a lot of mana to get working, so I'm going to actually drop that out of the deck. And then I think potentially it's going to be Finale or Invoke, because these things kind of suck to draw in the early game. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put the second Finale back in, and I'm going to go down a land. And in fact, I'm going to go down 2 lands so that I can get a full play set of Abrades in here. I'd really like to make sure that this doesn't happen again. Plus, that also insulates me against a Liquid Metal Coating Karn lock. Okay, so yeah, we're all changed up, and we are instantly queuing for game 2. Here we go. So we have the Eidolon for once we empty our hand. And we do have Faithless Looting. We do have some early things to play. Sounds good to me. Gonna see what they do at first. I'm on the play, so I think I'm gonna just try to get a Steamkin out and then see if I can save my 1 mana spells in order to put some counters on the Steamkin, get myself going. This is like a low-key pretty big piece of acceleration. Opponent shows me a mountain, so I will probably just drop out a Steamkin right now. If that eats removal, that is okay. Okay, so we're on goblins. So that is going to be okay. I will go ahead and swing in right now, I think. Great Revel is not going to be really good against this opponent. They're just going to try to go up the curve. I can kill their goblin. Okay, so here's what I'll do. I'll attack, and then if they do anything interesting, I shock them. Or I shock the goblin. We'll see. Okay, so that goes in. I have Play with Fire and Shock to play next turn. Or to play on their end step, so I'll do that. And then on my following turn, I can Revel, Faithless Looting, or do something else. Okay, War Chief is going to absolutely eat a shock. Would have liked to cast something there. Thank you very much, Magic. And then also Play with Fire their face. Make another mana. So I can Eidolon into Risk Factor next turn. I don't want a Finale right now. So good to have that. We take them off their War Chief, which is really important in that deck. I rip the next Steamkin. That's kind of huge for me mana-wise. And we are kind of doing a good thing here. I can ask them if they would like to take damage with Risk Factor. I think that is good. I'll do it on their turn. Okay, so it's another Chieftain. I would really like to get a removal spell for that. Let's go ahead and wait for the attacks, and then I'll Risk Factor. I'm holding a priority here. I'm surprised they attack in with Chieftain. I can I can trade with a Steamkin if I want to. We'll see if they let me draw cards. If they don't let me draw cards, I'm potentially trading here. So they take the damage. Okay. I'm not blocking. I'm hitting them for another 4 right now. Okay, we get the 3rd land. So I can Revel, Faithless Looting, Risk Factor, or Calamity. Seems pretty good to me. I have Shock and Play with Fire. So I have 4 damage out of the graveyard, 4 damage here. That's 8. Yeah, we're looking pretty good. So I'm going to Faithless Looting first. I'm going to discard Revel Mountain. And I think we just have them. Bam, and Steamkin throw big enough to kill. Boom, that's lethal. Here we go. That was mono red doing its thing. Let's move on to round 3. We have the Steamkin to start. That's pretty strong. I'll take it. 3 lands. I do feel good about that. Fortunately, no card draw, but we'll hope that we can make it work. Opponents on slivers, okay. And we have double Steamkin, so we're going to have the mana if we can just find the card draw. Let's go ahead and then shock the Outcast, just get a little damage off of the board. Diffusion Sliver does become kind of annoying. Let's go ahead and... we could show Eidolon here. We could also play a Steamkin. Eidolon does tax them, but they're going to be the more aggressive deck, so I just kind of got to go for a big turn. Getting some Steamkins out is a good start. It's going to take me 2 turns to go off. Interestingly, they're on Realm Walker for slivers. This is a new way to do it. Normally I play with Realm Walker and Elves. Okay, so here is this. We have a second Steamkin. Steamkin into Realm Walker. Looks like a trade, but it actually is not. See if they block. With what appears to be mono red showing 1 mountain, I'd be surprised if they block. Wow. Alright. So I can just shock them. Alright, a little bit of a blowout there. Let's go. And then our next turn's looking pretty good. We can discharge into Lightning Strike Revel. Do gotta remember that Mutavault can be animated here. So Static Discharge is the sorcery. So I'm going to point that at face first, grow my creatures. And then I'm going to move to combat, and if they animate Mutavault, then before they go to blockers, I'm going to Lightning Strike it. However, this is all creature types, right? So that's going to be kind of difficult. I will only be able to attack with 1 Steamkin, right? This is a 2/2, so they'll be able to put 3 toughness out. Yeah, this Steamkin won't be able to do anything, sadly. Wait, but if I Lightning Struck the face, then it'd be okay. Whatever. At least I have a blocker. Okay. So it's a 2/2. Now what happens? Do they flash something in? They're going to just chump block. Interesting. Okay. That was pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and Lightning Strike them then. Pay the mana from that. Wait. Did oh my god, I'm so dumb. My Steamkin had taken damage, so removing the counters killed it. That is hilarious. So now the question is, do I invoke Calamity, trying to deal damage, or play an Eidolon? I think I'm going to play the Eidolon, and then next turn I get to go in for an attack, and then I can invoke Calamity them. Yeah, because I can do Discharge plus Lightning Strike. That's a 7 mana. Or 7 damage, rather. I'm going to take 6 from Eidolon, but so be it. Yeah, they take damage here. That's good. Okay, so pretty certain I have the kill. I'm going to move into combat, see if they try to double block Eidolon. And this is an instant, which is good. So depending on how they block this. They can animate Mutavault that trades with Eidolon. See how they block. Is it going to be Steamkin or Eidolon? What do they chump block? I don't want to lose my other Steamkin in the same way that I lost this first one. Okay, so just chumping here, they're going to block it all the way. Okay, so that thing dies for sure. So I want to kill Mutavault. No, I want to kill Diffusion Sliver first, then Mutavault. It actually doesn't matter because they all do first strike damage. So how much damage can I do here? I can shock for 2, invoke for 7, and then they die to Eidolon. And I'm going to take a bunch of damage. What are they going to do? They don't have anything to do here, I don't believe. Resolve that. And then invoke Calamity. And then we just have to deal 7 damage. Or at least 6, which is easily doable. So it is Static Discharge, targeting them, and Lightning Strike, targeting them. Steamkin gets a bit bigger as well. Alright, and they see it. So we take a bunch of damage through Eidolon, but it doesn't matter because the opponent is dead first. Alright, we finished round 3. Let's move on to round 4. Alright, round 4 time. Let's go. We got the Revel, we have Finale and Roiling Vortex. Unfortunately, no actual spells, but we do have Faithless Looting, so I feel fine keeping this hand. I'm going to lead on Faithless Looting. I'm going to discard a land and an Eidolon, probably. Eidolon just shreds my life total, but at the same time, so does Roiling Vortex. Yeah, I think I have to get rid of an Eidolon. I'm going to probably play a Vortex this turn. They're on white mana. This could be some sort of control deck. If that's the case, Eidolon of the Great Revel's not that good. I think I'm going to put it out as a 2-2. Next turn I play Roiling Vortex, take 2. But then I also start getting to hit my opponent, so that should even it out. They're on Mutavault 2. Interesting. They take some from Luminarch. Okay. Ooh, bummer that I didn't get a burn spell here. Luckily I can turn them off of their life gain. See if they make the trade. Almost certainly not. The tough thing is that we do need to kill the Aspirant before it gets big enough to hurt me. Eventually, I'm probably just trading with the Eidolon. After all, it is a race until the death. Okay, so Brutal Cathar, sure. Yeah, you want that. Nice. That's fine, because it unlocks my deck. Okay. Things are going to get a little problematic here in a bit, though, if we don't draw the things that we need. Okay, so we were able to kill the Luminarch Aspirant. Then we do have Finale on 1 to redo all of that. So I'm going to kill this. Then let's Finale on 1. Play with fire, Faithless Looting, autopay. I'm going to Faithless Looting first. It actually doesn't really matter because I'm discarding whatever I draw. This is going to go to face. Haha, Forgot that that was a thing, so I'm dead next turn, I think. That was pretty funny. Yeah, that's right. So Roiling Vortex, that was our combo killer, right? Well, unfortunately, we have a couple of ways to hurt ourselves very hard. So we go down to 5. I think we are mostly just dead. Teensy misplay, but you gotta do these things so that you can learn. And then they're gonna kill Vortex, and I'm just about dead. I think I'll probably just shock myself in my on my turn. I need to draw exactly not that card. Okay. Well, I'm dead. Okay, so we can go ahead and concede this one. Alright, that was round 4. Let's just pretend that that didn't happen. Let's move on to round 5. Alright, so you know I'm all about improving the gameplay and decision making on this channel. And if we've learned anything from last game, it is to hold it on the casting free spells when you have something that deals 5 damage to you when you do that. So, let's take a look at this one. We've got the artifact removal if that becomes relevant. We have Risk Factor, Lightning Strike, and Eidolon. So if we can just get some of these cards out early and then slam an Eidolon, I feel good about this hand. We'll see if opponent has creatures or not. Looks like a control deck to me. Let's go ahead and get rid of Eidolon. Eidolon is really only useful in creature-based matchups. I'm thinking I'm going to get rid of one of these and the Eidolon. We'll have access to both Faithless Lootings down the road. Next turn is a Steamkin, and then we have Risk Factor following that. They show 2 mana. We will see if it is a counter spell. It is not. Is it a scry type effect? Oh. So this is 3-color rogues. 4-color rogues. This is a new deck to me. I am down. I think I'm going to probably try to kill the Thought Thief this turn. Or I can Risk Factor my opponent, see what they want to do. Okay, move to my turn. I am sitting here with 3 mana. I will probably just Risk Factor since, yeah, that seems like the better way to do it. I'll do it before combat so that this can eat a counterspell and trigger Steamkin at the very least. We're giving it some thought. And Drown in the Loch. Thought Collapse, different. Alright, so that just cleared off one heck of a lot of lands from the top of my deck, which I'm grateful for. And let's see what happens now. Well, Chief's Thirst, okay. I think I'm probably going to try to kill the Thought Thief. I'll lead with a Static Discharge, I think. I mean, they're representing Dovin's Veto right now, aren't they? That is, like, not really convenient for me. I think I will just, in their upkeep, then do something. So let's go ahead and strike this. See if they would like to do anything about it. And then on their end step, we have Play with Fire to remove an attacker or to do something else. So we really want to be on instant speed this game, which luckily our deck is mostly prepared to do. Yeah, I think that's fine. Take a land. Then I can bait out a counter spell, or I can Risk Factor them. Risk Factoring seems good. I'll discard probably one of the Abrades. Haven't really seen what they're doing at instant speed here. Okay, so it is one of these. In their upkeep, then I will kill their Thought Thief. Alright, so we just got to nickel and dime them as much as they're going to do it to us. Okay. They have 5 cards in hand. They've not been drawing lands. Okay, so at this point, might as well just go for it. See if they have a counterspell. And then I am going to set off this lightning strike in their turn. End of their turn, I think. They go to 10. Now the risk factor gets kind of hard for them. It's going to be a tough decision. So I can Steamkin a Braid or I can risk factor. If I risk factor and then get a land out of it, then I can also Steamkin. Get rid of a Braid. Little risky here. I hope they let me draw the cards, but I also wouldn't mind them going down to 6. They must have a counterspell for this. Like, this seems like the kind of thing that they would counter. Okay, there's the Drown and Lock that I was thinking of. And now we are on either Faithless Looting or Steamkin. I can Faithless Looting at sorcery speed. I'm going to do that. Same sort of deal with drawing a land here. We do get the land. We do get Finale. Finale's kind of good. Finale represents 6 damage. 7 damage, in fact. So I want to keep that. That means I'm going to get rid of 1, 2. Seems good. Okay. If they tap out for something on their turn, then I Finale on mine. Otherwise, it's going to have to just be killing these stupid rogues as they come in. I got a risk factor back. That's kind of nice. So they're kind of just holding up their counter spells. I'm holding up my instant speed removal. Kaya. Okay, so they topped out. This is the chance to get off a big Finale. Don't mind that dying. So here I can Finale for 2. Let's go ahead and start with a Lightning Strike and a Static Discharge. Autopay. Now, what do I care about Kaya? Not too much. I'm just going to go for the damage. Let's do this one first, and then do this one. So they take 7. I have a shock, and I need 1 more piece of instant speed damage, and they're dead. Okay. Yeah, that's what we need. So I could also risk factor, draw cards, but I need to just kill them. So I will play 2-mana spell here, see if they want to counter it. And then if they do, yeah, that makes sense. Alright. I'm going to pass through my turn, go on to theirs. Then I think on their upkeep, I'm going to start fighting. Oh, cool. They're just dead. Alright, we were able to do it. Beat rogues. Kind of a weird version of it, but, you know, it is what it is. Okay, that was round 5. Let's keep going. Okay, we're back recording round 6. It's actually been a couple of days since the last round. A little bit of movie magic makes that seem like no time has passed at all. I was actually in the middle of recording round 6 when my power went out, and we got it back later that day, but I've been busy since, so I wasn't able to play. So let's take a look at this hand now. We do have a little bit of removal and 6 mana worth of damage. Risk factor can deal another 4 or draw some cards. I am going to go ahead and keep this for now. I like the ability to remove a creature. Okay. Wait for our opponent to give it a start, and we'll see what we're playing against. They actually have the new... Is that the new Atraxa sleeves? Those are really cool. I actually haven't seen these before. Pretty nice. They're good looking. Maybe I'll have to pick those up in the store. Alright, so they are potentially on Artifact Ramp. So we are just going to be doing everything to their face and trying to kill them before they can get their Forsaken Monument out. I'm going to reserve an Abrade for the Forsaken Monument. Or if there is something else that I can clip earlier than that, I'll try to do it. Yeah, so it looks like this is definitely either Artifact Ramp or Storm. We will see. I'm going to go ahead and... Everything is at instant speed, so I can just go ahead and pass the turn, play on their end step. Alright, they're going to go back up to 19, and we will see if they want to give us 3 cards or take 4 damage. If I'm them, I'm maybe giving me the 3 cards here. Like, I'll already need to discard next turn, but it's pretty obvious that I'm on burn, so they do take it. We have the 4th mana, so I will just hold up yet another risk factor. See if they want to go to 11. They got 4 mana out, so we got to see what they're going to play. Okay, Mystic Forge. I think I'm letting that resolve, and then I'm killing the cost reducer, if that is going to be what happens. Okay, I will go ahead and risk factor again, see if they would like to go to 11 damage. Alright, and we'll put them to 9. Now the risk factor choices get a lot harder for opponents. We do rip our 5th land. We have Lightning Strike, Abrade, both are instant speed, so we can risk factor later. And the question is, am I holding risk factor and Abrade, or is it going to be risk factor, Lightning Strike? It'll depend on what they play here. If I need to use the Abrade, then risk factor has to discard Lightning Strike. Karn, okay.
I battle for the forces of good.
Imagine they just go for cards? No, they go for the construct, so I can kill Karn.
Evil cannot withstand a righteous heart.
Okay. So they are just going to try to ramp me out just as fast. So potentially I want to risk factor and just go for the damage. So that means casting Lightning Strike this turn. Alright. So yeah, I think I've decided that I'm just going to try to push damage right now. Okay. So we're going to be casting risk factor with Jumpstart, discarding the Abrade. They decide if they go to 7 or not. Alright. So here I get to put them to 4, and then I do get to draw 3 cards next turn off of risk factor. Rolling Vortex is nice. It'll kill them eventually, but this construct will kill me probably before Roiling Vortex kills my opponent. So I will choose risk factor, discarding the Vortex, and we'll draw 3. We can win here, but it'll likely be a 2-turn game. Alright, so that is not really the hand that does it. We'll get him down to 1, and we take 6 this turn. It's about a 3-turn clock, it looks like, unless they storm off. Okay, so this is like some variant of Steel Stompy. Another Mystic Forge. So it may actually matter what my next top deck is. Okay. Yeah, they have a 2-turn clock. I potentially can kill them on my next draw step. Take 9. Here's the Lightning Strike that you knew about. So now they cannot activate Mystic Forge. I go to 10, and it's literally up to this draw step. Let's go. Never didn't have it. There it is. We got him. Metallic Rebuke? No. Okay. There we go. Round 6. We're back with Mono Red Burn. Let's do it. One more round coming up. Let's finish strong. Okay, it's round 7. We have the Faithless Lootings to chuck some lands away. Opponent has mulliganed. I'm kind of tempted to do one myself. Maybe get a creature. Let's try it. Yeah, this is actually pretty good. I think I'm getting rid of either Finale or Eidolon. Finale doesn't have a sorcery to get rid of, so I think I'm going to get rid of Finale for now. However, on 2 mana, I could potentially have 6 to 7 damage with a Finale. Like, it can represent that much mana. Whereas Eidolon does kind of represent a lot of damage towards myself. I'm going to keep it just in case we can close out the game with it. I'm going to bin Promise. And our opponent with the Transformer animated sleeves is going to take the first hand. They actually have a 62 card deck, which is interesting. We got the Invoke Calamity to replace our Finale. So this is some sort of ramp deck. A Braid is a good draw here. I'm going to cast Steamkin, and then we're just going to start removing their Mana Dorks. There's the Elf. I'm killing that thing right away. I'll go ahead and swing in, see if they would like to declare a blocker. They do not, so I'm going to go ahead and shock it. So I can grow my Steamkin. Okay. Opponent at 18. Says they don't want to play anymore. Guess they really needed that Llanowar Elf. That was a super short game, so let's go ahead and just re-queue right away. I'm not going to even bother cutting the video. Y'all just stick alongside me while I wait for server and queue right back in after I open this Gwyneth. Okay. So we're done with round 6.5, now it is round 7. For real this time. We're playing Nate. Let's see what Nate's got for us. This hand has instants and sorceries. Invoke Calamity, probably not as good right now. I'm gonna mulligan this hand. 3 lands is a bit better. Roiling Vortex is kind of cool. Risk Factor is a bunch of damage. I'm gonna keep this in a land because I want all these spells. Play with Fire, I'm probably looking for a land just to set up my turn 3. If it's a good burn spell, I'll keep it, but if not, you know. Do they have a play of Fire of their own? There's my land. Okay, so now I can cast all the things that I would like to. I'm going to start with the Roiling Vortex, and we're just going to start the beats. Opponent is on a similar sort of burn deck. Meltthrough is a different card. They are... So this is tech against creatures, which is kind of cool. Ooh, and they're on the Robber. Luckily, I've had the ultimate tech of going down to 5 cards, or however many I did, so that Robber the Rich won't do anything. Okay. And now we are kind of getting into it. Risk Factor is going to be my play for the next 2 turns, which will take them down to 8. We'll see if they can deploy creatures quickly enough to take me out before then. I am losing on the damage race. Soulscar Mage, okay. Mono, okay. Yeah, so creature-based is what I'm seeing here. I go to 13. This is going to be Risk Factor, and I'm going to Risk Factor a lot. Let's see how this goes. They go to 12, down to 11. And this is going to be one heck of a race. If I can rip something here. I need both a land and a 2 or 1 mana spell. It's going to be kind of tough. And yeah, okay, we're looking pretty dead now, in fact. Take 5. As much as 6. Oof. Alright. Down to 7. So it's lethal next turn. Yeah, I don't think we really can do much from here. I have Discharge to kill one of the sergeants. That does buy me a turn. So that is what I have to do. Then, yeah. They go to 10. I take at least 3. Oh, and then is this thing hasty? Oh, it is hasty. Am I just exactly dead? Oh my gosh, I died of my own Roiling Vortex. Well, well, okay, they have enough damage to kill me now. Well, I would have died to my Roiling Vortex. They can still make me do it if they don't attack with the 3/3. Okay, there they go. Nice. All right. Well, we won round 6.5, and then we lost round 7. Let's just say it averages out. Yeah, so as we die here, that is the end of our playthrough on Mono Red Burn. Hope you guys like this version of it. There are, you know, a million versions under the sun, every standard. So, you know, I'll definitely play one of the other ones. I was playing a lot of Magic during the Torbran Red Aggro days with Ember Cleave. So that's something that you might see on the channel down the line. If you want to see it, drop a comment, let me know. If you have any other ideas of what I want to play or what you would like to see changed, let me know. Yeah, so at any rate, that is all for me. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, drop a like. If you want to see more, drop a subscribe. Pretty easy. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.